for the District of Stephenville, Port-au-Port.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and it's great to take the opportunity to rise and speak to Bill 38, an act to amend the Schools Act. Thank you to the Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development and his staff for the work around kind of tweaking of this bill, if you will. A little more than housekeeping in the sense that we're changing the way the election process occurs, specifically with respect to the French School Board, better known as the Conseil Scolaire. And so it's important to bring this in line, specifically in line with what we do with the English School Board right now. And of course our school boards and the elections of such have seen extensive changes over the years, and historically back to the denominational system, the church officials would appoint individuals to the school board, and of course that was changed with the referendum in '95 and a subsequent referendum in '97, and then there was an election process. And since that time, the election process has continued, but it is a bit different with the Conseil Scolaire. So currently, during the school board election period, a school council for each of the schools, school councils being voted upon by the parents, and under the Conseil Scolaire, the school councils then have 30 days at the end of their election to elect 2 individuals to sit on the Conseil Scolaire. So, being a lot different than, of course, the general election that's held with the English school district. So we're really just looking to streamline this. This was a direct result as a request from the Francophone Parents Association. Correct me if I'm wrong, to the Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development. Yeah, so certainly a request put forward by them and something that the staff took the opportunity to review. And noteworthy as well, and being the member to represent Stephenville, Port-au-Port, and the minister alluded to the 5 areas in the province, 4 rather, sorry, in which there's French schools. 2, of course, being on the Port-au-Port Peninsula, École Sainte-Anne and École Notre-Dame du Cap. Had the great opportunity of attending a graduation at École Sainte-Anne just a few weeks ago, and actually had a great conversation with the chair of the Conseil Scolaire, and trying to hear out some of their ideas and some of the things that they're looking at doing as they move forward. So it's important that we bring them in line and keep these regulations in line with the English school district, because right now we're the only province that uses an indirect, if you will, or an indirect electoral system for a minority language school board. So again, I think this is a very good piece of legislation. It's great to see the member for Conception Bay East Belle Isle speak to it in support of this legislation. I certainly don't believe we'll have much opposition to it. Certainly seems pretty straightforward, keeping us all in line with respect to the electoral process. And more specifically, this stemmed particularly from Section 23 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and that's where they kind of founded their concerns around this, and it's actually Section 23, guaranteeing minority language educational rights to French linguistic minority populations outside of Quebec. And that's where all this stemmed from, and in doing so, and in honouring that, and also in honouring a fair election process, I certainly have no trouble supporting the bill. I'd like to thank the Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development for introducing it, thank his staff, and again, as well as the member opposite. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.